Come on, come on.
Hey Future Pros! The Zeus X27 is a taser that both CTs and Ts can purchase. It's a one-shot weapon that can only be used for one single shot. The taser costs $200 but offers no kill reward. You can purchase the Zeus from the gear selection in the buy menu. If your enemy is below 183 units away, about 3 meters, you will kill them with one shot. Just outside of this range and you will only do damage to them. The further away, the lower the damage. After 230 units, it won't do damage at all. The goal when using this gun is to get into a sneaky position and wait for your enemy to round the corner. There are many positions on each map where you could potentially get away with a quick kill. But this won't work every time. If you miss, you're dead. Assuming you're playing with future pros like yourself, that is. So get creative and play to your map. Innovation is the key to success.
All right then, time for another bout. This time we have Navi in the red corner and in the blue. We have the French, LDLC, a team that have been struggling to do anything on any map against anyone currently in the Pro League. It hasn't been great for them. Nuke seems to be the only slight light at the end of the tunnel. However, they are getting to play that today, so that's a positive side. I'm joined by Chad Birchall and Jacob Vineker, and we are going to be trying to understand this one a little better. Now, before we do that, guys, we have a rare opportunity. We're going to just go ahead and have a chat while we look over community plays. It's where you guys can submit your own plays, and we get to take a look at it here in the Pro League, one of my favorite segments. So why don't we run them? Let's run the clip, and let's take a look at what you guys have been up to.
This isn't what we talked about when we mentioned that you were going to be casting, Alex. We'll sort that out for the next game. We had a bit of a hiccup there, but we've got Avocado, best friends of the Avocado, taking down 1-2 with the USP from jumping onto the third to the Japan player, Season 1. That's a four-piece.
That's a 64-tick clip if ever I
You'd
saw
love
one.
to see it.
Well, I like his name.
Do you think he's from Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, you be Sonic, I'll be Tails, and it will be a day to remember. Let's find out, though.
I always like Knuckles.
Yeah? I like this. This is a nice little one-man play on to be.
He's part of the Stark clan as well. Oh, more USPs on the legit
This
ninja.
is a cool name. This is a cool name.
He
I can relate
is
to that.
The legit ninja.
As opposed to being the...
Illegitimate.
Yes. I was going to say unlegit, but that's not a word.
Yeah, there's lots of fake words here.
I tend to make stuff up all the time.
It's actually quite a spicy play. That USP using it well. Does seem to have a good read on that last player. And
With the revolver.
Feels like everything is in slow motion right now. It's good.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's how I like to live my life in slow motion. Mr. Beast 47 from the UAE. I fly through there to go back to Australia. It's pretty
Look at
nice.
Mr. Beast go. Wow, enemy pro just gets dilapidated, as does Benet. And it does seem like they just pushed him one by one with their backs turned.
Here we go,
So
this
what
is
can
the
you say
round.
about that one?
Liaku, Pikachu's brother, using a silence down 4 on the T side.
Reckon
That's
it.
not the optimal weapon.
Representing, you have an Austrian here, De Stoga. Ooh, nice shot onto self-code.
Some of these names are
I'm
brilliant.
really enjoying looking at the names, yeah.
Like, Jacob and I have terrible aliases. I don't think we're in any position to judge other people's names.
Yeah, I mean, you're called Sponge and Pimp.
I nailed it.
We all nailed it. In fact, look how edgy we are. Hang on, wait, how old were you when you came with yours?
13, 14.
12.
12. Okay, so now we're venturing into our 12-year-old selves when we introduce ourselves as Machine, Sponge,
I was so tanned.
Pimp.
You
That's who
wouldn't
we
imagine
are.
it.
We're all as idiotic as each other here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk, but hopefully we can help you understand this one, because Navi, I have a lot of questions. So many questions, and I'm sure
Sure.
anyone that's
Where do you
anywhere
wanna
near a
start?
forum right now has questions too. I don't know where to start.
I've tried to get my magical iPad with this news article up from HLTV.org. I don't know if I got it working properly or not.
Okay, the
Let's
magic trick
assume
may
that I
not be
didn't,
working.
and I'm just going to start reading the article. Now, take yourself to a place, boys. I want you to transport yourself to an alternate reality.
Okay, wait,
I want you to think anything is possible. All right, are you there? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And then you read a headline, and it says, simple, comma, flamey, in talks to join SK Trio. Now, let's put that in context for all those people playing at home who might not know SK or Simple and Flamey. Simple and Flamey are from Russia and Ukraine, respectively. SK is a Brazilian team that lives in North America. Now, let's go further down this rabbit hole. They're going to allegedly get rid of Taco and Bolts and add Simple and Flamey in lieu of those two players to join Fallen, Coldzera, and Fur.
Why?
How?
When?
Never gonna happen.
Never gonna
happen. What makes you say that?
It would be too stupid.
Whoa. Okay, let's on paper, let's think about Coldzera, Fur.
Yeah, before we start that circle jerk, we have to acknowledge that there is another problem afoot here.
Okay.
In that I've spoken to Flamey. His English isn't fantastic. I've spoken to some of the SK guys. They've got good English, but communicating as the world's best team, flying that flag in a language that I'll tell you now, I don't think Simple or Flamey speak any Portuguese.
No.
So suddenly, like, a team that's been so consistent, one of the most consistent presences in Counter-Strike in the last 5 years, and they want to just go ahead and throw a big fat doesn't speak
Feels
your
like they
language
want to fist
spanner.
fight with FaZe, without any reason. And that's
They're
why
already
I don't
beating
really-
FaZe.
They're already beating FaZe, so why would you do that? And as you said, like communication-wise, living in America, I've done it myself. There's so many ifs in this one that I'm having a hard time seeing how it's going to work out. Even if they do it, even if it did happen, even if they do sign some contracts, it's not going to be a long project. It's going to be like a short-term thing, and I highly fear that it will be a disaster if it happens.
Yeah, I mean, we do have another person with an opinion throwing it in. We had to check the Twitter sphere. It seems like Duncan Thorin Shields had something to say. He came in with Simple, Coldzera, and Fur is more ridiculous than FaZe, considering this trio are all in their prime. Now,
Sure.
you were going that route, so I'll let you run with that.
I
thought.
was, but I was going to look at it more of like a head-to-head perspective, if like saying that trio is better than a trio in
It
FaZe.
is very sexy, isn't it? Imagine Fur, Mirage. Fur's just pushed up mid. He's made an abundance of space. Simple now has full free reign to just set himself up.
All right, let me play devil's advocate in this
Do
scenario.
it.
Fur was super aggressive. They added Phelps. Now they had two hyper-aggressive players. Fallen sucked at that point. They removed Phelps, added Bolts to be a passive player to give Fallen more room. Okay, that's cool. That worked. That dynamic made sense. That was the SK we all know and love. How about you do this? How about you throw in Simple, a guy who just runs around the server and literally kills everybody, right? Who is an aggressive player who does whatever the hell he wants, and that's how he is one of the best players in the whole world, into this system. Now you've got Coldzera, who has relied on Taco with playing bomb sites, being his anchor, baiting for him, doing all this stuff to allow Coldzera to be the player Coldzera is. You just remove role players out of the equation. Who's going to be that for Coldzera?
Who's going to put on the robe and wizard hat?
And Bolts came in to replace what FNX offered, right?
Yeah.
Which was a rock in the team, someone actually going to sit there. Flamey can do that. I can understand that he can do that role, but the Simple complex.
So here's one for you, Jacob. A lot of people at the very, in the analytical side of Counter-Strike tend to accredit a lot of Coldzera's success to the support framework around him, the likes of Taco. Losing both Taco and Bolts, two of the players that know how he plays, have played with him for extended periods of time at different periods, at different teams. Losing that, would we just see Coldzera just kind of get a little lost in the mix?
It could very well happen.
I could see a world where that happens.
Coldzera is one of those players that obviously he has talent. He is arguably the best and most consistent player in the world, and there's a reason for that. Taco and Bolts obviously have a part in that, if you want to say so, but it's not like they're doing that by themselves. The problem with that is that you risk, by doing this move. Let's say it does happen in an alternative world if you are lining out for us. You risk losing the best player in the world. You risk losing Coldzera and the comfort and the confidence he has in his own abilities, being the best player in the world, being the most consistent player in the world, to bring in a guy like Simple who, he may be the best player in the world at some points, but he's also like a guy you can really count on. You never know where he's going to be inside his own head or not on a team at all. So it is a risky move, and I wouldn't risk removing or at least changing of removing the best player in the world from that comfort role he has on one of the best teams in the world just to gamble for Simple.
And it wasn't that long ago Simple was like an LV for life. This is my roster for my
that changes
entire
every single day.
career.
So that's not really a problem. It's more like the fact that he has to live in NA again. He did it once with Liquid. Didn't like that at all.
No.
He seemed like to have a small meltdown, which you can at some point understand, because it's tough to be over there alone, especially when you're from Ukrainian and maybe not the most fluent English speaker.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget Mixwell. I mean, he had a harrowing story of being trapped in a mansion in the forest with a pool. That was a brutal story.
The way you tell that, it's comical, but it's actually really sad.
Yes, no,
it's
it is.
really quite
I'm only
sad.
messing around. I'm only pulling your leg. But Na'Vi are going to be taking on LDLC here. We haven't really talked about this because there's nothing to really say. LDLC have won 2 games, and that was versus versus AGO. So the only team that came up with the MDL, other than, of course, Space Soldiers, top of the table, LDLC have been somewhat of the gatekeepers of that 14th spot. The only people that have taken it so far are Envy, and that's only because they've played 4 games in the Pro League.
Here's what we can look forward to. Na'Vi, even though this roster change may be a thing that's on the horizon, can hopefully still beat LDLC, not give them any wins in their current state, and then LDLC can get relegated. So, let's all cheer for Na'Vi. Let's cheer for Simple.
Okay. But I'm going to cheer for Alex, representing the UK, best name in the world, and the best player from LDLC, alongside Maniac, the suited and booted
But
Frenchman.
He's not really, like, English. He doesn't even like
He's called
being-
Alex McMeekin.
Yeah, but he's very
Parlez-vous
French.
français?
No, okay,
I think
okay.
you're about as French as he is English.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I'm about as French as he is English. Okay, I'll run with that. Merci beaucoup. All right, then.
buckets.
Thank you very much. Okay, guys, it seems like we're all just basically getting lost in this Na'Vi rumor that's spreading around like wildfire. And I
It
think
is kind of the hot topic, isn't it?
it's hard to avoid when we jump into this game. I'll leave it with you.
Yeah, no, it really is, and not surprisingly so. I guess LDLC haven't really made any kind of roster moves that would be to that kind of scale.
No, I don't think it's possible. I think there's still like a French roster shuffle on the horizon too. Obviously,
Oh,
with
yes.
the Shots lineup coming out.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'd love to. I hope Alex and Chad cast the next game. I think is the plan. That'd be quite nice to hear the dulcet tones of those two.
But for now, we do get this matchup, and it should be, by all accounts, a good game for Na'Vi here. Now, I actually quite liked watching LDLC in the last season. Big fan of Twanu. I think he's a very good player. Alex as well, very, very good. I don't know much more beyond that, obviously, like where they're at right now. I haven't got to see them much, but this should be a powerhouse game for Na'Vi. They should be able to kind of bully their way through here a little bit. But at the moment, Maniac's got a lot to say about that. 3 kills to be precise, and the bomb now lost. Albor, what are we seeing?
I mean, we're seeing the SK duo almost. According to the rumors, it's still alive. Well, the thing about Na'Vi right now is, obviously you can talk about a lot about what kind of mental state they're going to be in, whether or not there's any truth to these rumors or not. But as long as Simple's alive, I feel like they're in with a fighting chance.
I don't know, fighting chance is what I'll go for, but I'll let you get away with it. I'll let you have that, because it is simple. We've seen stranger things happen, but a 1v4 here is going to be quite tough.
Definitely is, and LDLC playing this well, in addition to that, not giving up anything for free as of right now. Double does take the peek out, but backs off in time to let Maniac join in on the fun, and that's going to be 4K to start things off for Maniac, and as Alex pointed out, right before they ended their part of the segment, he is probably the most prominent player together with Alex on this side.
Yeah.
Definitely the most experienced one.
Yeah, absolutely. 1-0 for LDLC. Did we work out if that was little dog, little cat, what the name actually means? No one knows. But we do see the Deagle CZ's armor out for the T side, so that's going to be in the back pocket. It's always a threat.
Could also be a Pac-Man with rabies. The logo.
I mean,
Right?
little dog, little cat stands for LDLC, right? So I'm trying to get something
Little
going on
dog, little
there.
cat, yeah, no, okay.
You've gone for Raby Pac-Man. I don't see that in the logo, but now I look at the logo, that's all I see.
Exactly.
Why have you done this? If they just add a little eye at the top, it's, yep.
Yep, there you go. So, rabies Pac-Man. Interesting choice, but that's what creative people do. They come up with funky solutions.
Yeah, no, very true.
Nonetheless, so we're not seeing Na'Vi. Obviously, they didn't get the bomb plant down, so we have seen them in the past actually do quite a bit of buying single AKs and dropping it for simple.
Russian buy.
Yeah, in these second rounds, but obviously we're not getting a bomb plant, not getting that many kills to speak of. Not having quite the monetary income to do that. Still been given quite a bit of real estate here to work with, and Flamey's going to find Alex. Now, 2 remaining bomb side players on LDLC bogged down, and Flamey's going to find a second one as well on Twanu. It's all on Maniac, but he's only good for 1 frag. It is simple that goes down, but still significant man advantage for Na'Vi. Bomb's going to go down, and already LDLC might be considering just holding on to what they have, and to be fair, it's not a whole lot. Devil's sitting with a ZZ, and FAMAS on Logan, and well, they do have a kit, but no real utility really to clear out.
Problem is that every time I read the name Logan, I think of Logan Paul. And I hate,
that's a
I
bit
hate
of a bad
myself.
association, yeah?
I do hate myself for it, and I'm sorry, Logan. That's not your own doing or your fault.
What, sorry, Logan or Logan Paul? I'm assuming you are
videos,
a low ganger or
Oh,
whatever it's called.
Don't pretend you don't know what it is. You're like, low ganger, but I don't.
No, but that's
definitely
because I
don't know.
spent time with Alex in the green room, and obviously he's a massive fan. He's got all the merch.
Yeah, that is true. He's a maverick.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely know some of the terminology.
There we go.
I'm brushing up on my YouTube because
Before the videos get deleted from the internet,
exactly.
right?
Because he's coming over to Twitch soon, right? So
Oh,
I mean,
God.
yeah, he's coming on over. He's seen what Ninja's up to.
Can't
He's
even
like,
edit
Drake's
that.
his friend. He's making money off the children. Here I come. This is my jam. So he's gonna come on in. He's gonna change up the game. People are in rapture. But back to the game, Logan we see in game hasn't done much just yet. But I mean, there's time. You can be a maverick.
You
It's
can
every
change
day.
the world.
Yes.
Well, it's going to have to happen rather quickly, though, if they don't want to let Na'Vi get away with this one. They were set up to have a pretty good start to the game, but saw Flamey doing some magic with the ZZ and, well,
ZZ's
Devil and
totally
Alex.
cool.
Woof, decide to give him a taste of their own medicine.
However, why are pistols with armor beating full buys?
Because balance, Lauren. Balance in all things. It's not fair that only the people with money can have fun, right?
Equality.
Exactly. Equality in all fields.
Thank God.
I mean, you can tell what kind of excellent gameplay it makes for. Obviously, a ton of skill being put into holding a W and A at the same time as you run down banana.
It's tricky. That's 2 keys. That's a lot for me, for example. I can't.
And you throw in mouse 1 as well.
If I'm feeling real spicy. 3 players remain for the T side. However, the issue begins. Only one has a CZ, and he's not even using it as his main gun. So Flamey, I think he's making a mistake here. The smokes are going up, sure, but CZs are on the other side. Devil, don't you dare use that flash. That's, again, not good enough. Keep the CZ out. He's ready. He's got 12 bullets. That's 3 kills. That's fine. Here we go. That could have been the first night.
Oh, Logan stole it.
Yeah, Logan stealing. Next YouTube video coming out. Goes in for... Was that a knife you were going for there, Devil?
A bit optimistic. I think he might have spent all of his bullets,
feed
but
against
still.
Simple.
Yeah, we've seen what can happen. Don't feed the beast. Simple on the hunt right now. I'll be looking at getting reset immediately. Well, don't want to give up any easy frags here. The Ukrainian superstar. Well, one is given up. That's Toinu. But time is running down, and Simple has to plan in this scenario. Off the bomb, and Alex is kind of just taking the bullet for his team. As soon as he gets taken out by Simple, that's already round done and dusted. So CZs prevail. Words I'd never expect to say.
No, CZs are better than buys, so in theory...
well, Na'Vi are making a mistake by buying actual weapons.
Again, they're not up to date on it. See, Devil knows what's up.
There we
Full
go.
utility, CZ, armor. What? You're laughing.
Good to go.
See what he can do with it. However, it's still not a bad buy for Na'Vi. That's still okay in this one.
Surprising amount of utility.
Considering, yeah, I guess Simple getting those kills is not too bad at all. But for the moment, Swanu yet to really kick off. He was one of the, I think he was AWPA before. I'm curious if he's going to go back to that again. We've seen Zwiu as well being one of the kind of upcoming French AWPAs that everyone's looking towards doing well. Obviously not in this roster, but could be a potential for French shuffles. And Edward gets his way up quad, kind of for free. Maniac's not far from this, but that's not a good choice, Alex. Gets a little too close for comfort, and the 1-for-1 trade comes through. Na'Vi gain ground towards A.
So 2 rounds in a row, we've seen LDLC playing extremely far back on the A bomb side, and Na'Vi are just going to take everything that's given to them. So there we go. Devil finds one Na'Vi player to kind of try to equalize things. Still a 1-for-2. And that means Logan's all on his lonesome. Only from us, no nades, no kit. The bomb's already planted. Good after plant positions on the side of Na'Vi as well. This is going to be a tall order. Smoke's already down in apps. That cuts off one of the many avenues Logan could have taken. It seems like he's just going to be content with picking up an AK and going for it. Okay.
He's content with the AK and
going for it. Yeah, he wants.
Gotta do everything you can for views.
He wants, you know, to have his cake and eat it
Goes
too.
into the suicide forest, and that's what
Jesus. Yeah, there you have it. Didn't pan out well, so a lot of similarities already.
and apologizing as we went. Oh, here's the perfect buy.
There we go. They've
it's time.
gone back to the roots. Logan, another misstep here.
Yeah.
Opted for the PT-50, but
here comes the nuke.
Yeah.
This is going to be lovely. If anyone's there, Zeus gets a little, and Electronic gets a lot. They're up in their faces, and here comes those CZs. Twanu makes his count, but the rest have been dealt with. Edward, good position to come around. He handles what was becoming a bit of a problem. The CZs are sent packing, and Na'Vi stabilize. They finally kind of keep the money down. I don't know what LDLC can really buy in this one. You're at 2K. You don't really want much at all. You're kind of screwed.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward situation because even though you'd like to buy into the next round, obviously, you're still not going to have a lot of utility to work with. And with how passive LDLC are playing as well in the two first rounds we've seen them, really kind of go up against, well, wonky buys from Na'Vi, but invested, purchases from their end. It's
Can we get some free cam on this stack, please?
Is that a 4-man stack? That is.
It's like free cam. You didn't. I wasn't asked for free cam. Just mouse wheel down and spin it around. Like I know they're gonna die, but
they might find something with them.
They went for the Virtus Pro sort of feed the snake on cobblestone.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But, doesn't quite work out.
Didn't quite work out. They also spotted out the two last players on the B bomb side, so kind of surprised if we see Na'Vi actually committing to this, especially now with Flamey finding Alex as well. I guess Simple might just want to pad his stats a little bit. Does find spot both players on the LDLC side. Finally deals with Toinu. Now Devil left alone, and Simple's not going to need too many chances to pounce on that.
No. And Simple's starting to build up. You can already see 9-2.
Now it remains to be seen, though, whether LDLC want to. They can't afford the op on Toinu, obviously. But if they want to buy into it or go for another half buy-in, that's what they're going to do. That's very reserved, and
for
I kind of, yeah, but it's almost, yeah, it's very un-French of them. But I like seeing this, actually. I think long-term that makes more sense. They do want all the utility, and they're actually going to go for the nuke strats down mid once more. This time, a bit of a more passive hold coming out from Na'Vi, so only Sue's taking a bit of damage to start things off.
Yeah, Zeus needs to stay alive though. They're all in middle and his team's all in second. But Flamey tries to come out through Boiler but gets met by Maniac with the CZ and lives up to name as he does bounce away after claiming that kill. Edward, he had success through underpass before. He got 2 kills, I think. There a couple with Simple coming back in, but they've kind of fallen back to not necessarily default LDLC, but they did the damage. They got a gun and they backed away from it. I kind of like this.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised that they were allowed to get out of that. I was about to say the 2 players stuck in mid. Like even though they did get the 1-for-1 trade, it's going to be almost impossible to get them out of dodge. But they managed to do so. Put Logan as a solo site defender on B. Do a bit of a small stack towards A here with that AK that Maniac has in hand. And they do have armor as well, so that AK is going to be so much more useful. Na'Vi on their end seemingly want to go towards B. Who's leading the charge. Bomb hasn't necessarily committed to anywhere at all, but I think Na'Vi right now are expecting more mid-round aggression to come out of the French team. That's why they're more or less just posturing. Edward's going to make his way forward in apps. He might catch Maniac off guard, and he does just that, and that's the AK gone. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Logan finds Electronic, but all that does really is create a rotation over towards B, and that's not where the bomb is.
No, Devil here could be in for some fun though. He is being checked on. They didn't fully check him. It was kind of like going through the motions of doing so. They're like, wait, there's that tag? Oh, there's way here. But the Devil is in the details, and they do manage to get it done. It's down to Logan and Twanu to try and play it back in if they fancy it. But Twanu did get the AK. If they can get another gun away, supplement Logan, that'd be fantastic if that's even a possibility. There was a kill that happened in Boiler. I don't know if that's been collected on or what's happened to that. That was, I think it was Electronic who died. I'm not 100% sure. That's probably where they're going to go and check, and they've got the rifle. So that for them is pretty nice. Probably time just to back away and be like, all right, that's the best I'm going to get out of this, and that's fine. Twanu even gets a kill towards Zeus, so I mean, he's done quite nicely there.
Getting some extra bonuses here. We have to consider the fact that they did go for a very reserved buy in this round, so they would have had the opportunity to have a full buy into the next in any case, but obviously being able to hold on to AKs is going to be a pretty big get. Tony's going to drop that off probably and buy an off for himself. Just having that one-shot potential. Bless you. Yeah.
Just sneezing everywhere. It's fine. I haven't gotten ill. I was kind of amazed, right? Were you part of the sickly crew? No, I don't think you were.
I'm surprisingly healthy year-round, which I don't know how.
You look at my complexion and everything else.
Exactly. It's definitely not due to my diet. Like I have no idea how I'm not dying, but you know, I make do.
Yeah, because I think it was Chad, Alex, there's a couple of them that were pretty sickly during this. I think they came back from an event. Like, oh no, I think it's Calavita. and they had the plague for a while, but everyone seems to have recovered by now. Chad's still a little, you know, on the sick side. But he tries to battle.
Does he ever get fully healthy though?
No, mentally there's no health there, but
there's no coming back from that.
No, it's a deep dark cave. Anywho, into this round we do have a bit of fun happening, as there was you know, decent damage being done, a couple of guns kept over. So we see a decent purchase. Twanu's up on the AWP. This is what they're building to, but Zeus does that. Twanu with the late peek down middle, no flash, no nothing to set it up. Gets punished. Devil's right there, though. Finding Edward, Electronic, and Alex chimes in on the third to deny this mid pressure. Simple, what is that? Just leaps down and gets it done. I don't understand how he can be so good individually, but it seems like every time he can be, and he still has that smoke and Molotov, so he can define this however he wants. Smoke towards CT side and goes back towards quad, and does he get away with this? I think they must have seen him from Boiler, I'm pretty sure at that point. You get an angle on it, even it's radar, but Simple. Don't look anywhere but on his perspective right now. He has 3 kills, the bomb's planted, and Devil's got an AWP. And look at this timing. Simple might just be playing this guy right now. There goes up the molly. And, oh, Simple takes the damage, but did he buy enough time? He doesn't have a smoke here, Devil. Oh. I don't know if there's enough time on this now. He's going to have to take the hits if he does go in. 4 HP.
Oh, and he misses.
And did he go too far then? I don't know if he's got time on this one. It's going to be right down to the wire. You can see how close this is. A second's difference.
Taking a bit of liberty there. Devil actually just jumping into the fire, going at 4 HP, and then just... Woof. But yeah.
Okay,
Navi never really out of it, are they?
No, and there's no way I can mute my mic while opening this can of Coke, so enjoy the sound. It's fantastic, right?
Refreshing.
It's kind of satisfying. So, apologies. Any other brand is also available. Anyway.
This generic can.
Can of pop.
Exactly.
I always find it weird when people call it cans of pop. You know what I mean? Or
It
like
does sound
fizzy
wrong.
drink.
Just pop in general just doesn't fly with me.
No. But we did see a nice little bit of aggression from Twanu here, going to be working way through apartments. You can see the support system was meant to be in place, and Edward's kind of behind the curve a little here.
Missed the bus.
Watches it leave, and then it's like,
There's
no.
Didn't bother to send a text to Flamey, like, sorry man, not going to be there. In any case, though, that's actually one of the things that you can abuse pretty heavily. If you're playing against Na'Vi, they do pretty much the same default every single time, and they don't necessarily have a fallback for Flamey and Edward. They're kind of their own little dynamic duo working on that apps control area. And they don't necessarily do a good job of actually trying to retake control of that area if it goes awry initially. So maybe LDLC have looked into that. Tony, at least with the aggression paying off, making dividends to that. And they've already made a bit of a correct assessment here as to what's about to happen. Cheat rotation over towards B. 3 players in position for LDLC. No commitment yet from Na'Vi. Still have utility to throw out here, but they can only do it for one of the bomb sites. They can't necessarily afford to do a fake, and they're not even going to have the opportunity to do so. Logan gets splashed out and finds 3 frags right off the bat, but Simple, the final boss, is still alive, and he's got an AWP in his hands. Smokes off the entrance.
And the thing is, even mentally, if it's any other player, it's a done deal this round. But just because it's Simple, I genuinely still keep in mind, it's like, there's a perfect opportunity for him to do something, but there's 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
He's merely going to try and stay alive here, molly down to ensure that no one's going to get close to him, and no one can get the guns either, if they're going to try and get around this corner. He's got his angle on it. Fine. See what I mean, Halvor?
Why not?
Is he...
Why not? Yeah, no, if
He was up for that deagle,
oh yeah,
too.
no, that would have been a 1D for sure. If there was just half a second more time, that would have been a 4K for Simple.
God.
Yeah, no, definitely doesn't do any favors to the economy of LDLC.
Let's press tab. Producer, observer, hit that scoreboard. So, I mean, everyone else looks normal, and then it's like, you know when you've got that friend who's smurfing?
Yeah.
Like, it depends like what rank you are. Let's say you're global and
Your friends are like MG or...
Exactly. This is you right now. You're having a sick time. You feel like a god. He's just like, I can clutch everything. And this is just kind of how it looks, apparently. Like, obviously, Simple's kind of last man alive a lot of the time. He's trying to clutch it out. He gets a lot of those kind of quote-unquote fed to him in a way, but I mean, he's still doing so well.
Exactly. I mean, there is something to be said for, you know, being able to stay alive in those kind of scenarios. Obviously, it's for non-impact frags in that round, but still, like, it does actually do wonders to actually maintaining or keeping the economy of LDLC in check. So it does serve some purpose and have some value. Simple. And I mean, if nothing else, it does make Simple feel pretty good about himself, and that's not something you want if you're playing against Na'Vi.
No. What do you think of that new skin as well? I think it's quite nice. It's quite intimidating, the AWP one that Simple has. I think it's quite a spicy little number.
Oh,
Where'd you see
actually,
that?
yeah, that's actually really sick.
Speaking of something that could go pretty nicely, this. Simple, of course she does. He baits, like, it's not bait if you win, right? That's always been the thing in my mind.
Yeah,
There's been so many players who do quote-unquote bait, but if you get the job done, or you're likely to, do it. Like, no one holds it against you.
Exactly. If it's kind of part of the game plan, it's like, okay, you're gonna have to sacrifice yourself for me, so I get space to kill 4 people, and then that's a trade-off. But okay.
Ooh, Twani, you spicy Frenchman. Zeus left in 1v2 in the corner, pinned. He gets Logan to take him down. I'm really hoping the player who got boosted wasn't Twani. If he was the one who got boosted and then killed Simple on the run boost, can we see it from his perspective? I don't know if we can. I'd really love to see that if that's
That would
possible.
be brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Oh.
That's dirty.
That's. You love to see it. It's like
So
Simple's
even
had this
gods
sick
bleed.
stuff. Apparently so. Apparently so.
That is great.
Sweet Jesus. That was spicy. 5-5. It's a much closer game than expected. It feels like Na'Vi... It's weird, right? At the moment in European CS, at least what I'm seeing, I'll come back to it in a second, because we've got a lot of damage on the T side done very early by this aggression, Electronic and Flamey, but it doesn't feel like there's that many solid teams right now. It feels like there's a lot of like individually talented players, a lot of teams going through this kind of like up and down period, but we're struggling to see actual, solid teams. It feels like everyone's in that weird, like, oh, yeah, new player, oh, we've done this.
It's very true. Like, people are not having the honeymoon periods. It's more like the divorce proceedings. that's
That's
curiously
a
what's
really
going
good way
on.
to put it.
Yeah. So, no, I definitely understand what you meant. I think Chad actually tweeted out about this. The fact that the 2 most stable teams in CS right now are 2 North American squads, which sounds absurd. And normally you would have been like, oh yeah, no, he's talking about either Liquid, Cloud9, or SK. No, it's actually Energy and Liquid.
Mad, isn't it?
It's a bit weird, but it does make for entertaining games for sure, because you can never know what to expect.
And Maniac really didn't expect that. He's a little bit baffled that Edward managed to do that, but look at the CT side aggression and the information they have. Oh, Twani peeks into Edward's spray. Does not go well for him. Edward doing quite nicely this round, 2 kills for him. 3 players left standing for LDLC. They know what's happening, but it's can you stop it? You've got 25 seconds to try and control this threat. And Logan might be the back line. No, he goes down. That opens up B. Plenty of opportunity. Edward's on the way, but look where Devil is. He's not exactly been dealt with yet.
Only has an MP9 though. We have seen Frenchmen being very proficient with that weapon, but it's still going to be a pretty tall order, especially when Zeus peers you through the smoke. And Electronic, patient as ever, waiting for Alex the entire time coming out of pit. He's going to find him in the back, and that's a 6th round for Na'Vi. And yeah, it is a pretty close game so far. I think what kind of makes it feel like Na'Vi should be more in the lead is Simple. Yeah.
You're right. Like, if you look at it pound for pound, you take Simple out of the equation for any like generic to skilled player, it'd be like, yeah, this is perfectly respectable
This makes
scoreline
sense,
wise.
yeah.
But it's like Simple as literally almost 1v5ing like a lot of these rounds. Like, I'd love to see his ADR in comparison to the rest of it. I think he's like almost at 20 kills now.
170 ADR, I think, at the moment, roughly around that point.
He's the value of 2 players. That's insane.
2 pretty good players as well.
Yeah, exactly. No, like, toward the top end. But right now, Molotovs go in, and it's Na'Vi building up on this T side. Looking towards A, it seems, but the CZs are against them, so there's always threat available.
All right, Zeus going to dive through the smoke here with a buddy on his side. Not going to find anything, though. Instead, it's going to be Logan to take him out. And, well, we're seeing the CZ doing work here. 3 kills to their name. Toinu still left alive, but he's on the wrong side of the map. Quick rotation coming in from Na'Vi the second they realize where Toinu's positioned. That's going to be an easy bomb plant. Toinu can still do some damage here. Might not expect the positioning, though, coming out from Simple. And no, he doesn't. It's actually Electronic. My bad. But yeah, great round from Electronic. Yeah. Not bad at all. He wants to join in on the fun. He, obviously, we did see Team Russia play at WESG. Electronic being obviously a focal part of that team. Doing pretty well for himself. I think, I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure he was the highest rated player of the entire event.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he was just dropping 30 bombs left and right as he was going on. Obviously a bit, you know, up and down in terms of like how consistent the level of opponents were, but,
for sure. But
somebody still has to get the frags, and he definitely did so that's great to see. Maybe he wants to get in on the fun with Simple. And yet again, we're seeing a funky tower coming in from LDLC. I'm actually loving this. It's a bit different. We saw Envy, they just kind of grouped up together and ran at stuff, and for LDLC, they're giving a bit of shock and awe to whatever Na'Vi player comes around the corner.
Yeah, Simple was probably a little bit baffled. He connected so well on the first. It's like, oh, there's 4 more? All right, fair enough.
You're not supposed to be that high up.
Yeah, when they do stacks like that, it always reminds you of like the cartoons where people like dress up in like the big trench coat and have like their friend on their shoulders to try and get into like an adult movie or something. It always makes me think of that.
When you're 12 and want to see Die Hard in the cinemas.
Man, Die Hard's so good. I
It
haven't
is.
watched it in ages.
Best
Like, it's
Christmas
obviously
movie of all
Christmas time,
time.
right? That and Harry Potter nowadays. Like those two always go hand in hand. However, into this round, you can see the purchase still very limited for LDLC. That CT side has been turbulent, to say the very least. So the purchase is there, but it's lacking diffuse kits, utility, and orbs.
Yeah, and this time they don't really have the luxury of doing that extra eco or half buy as they did to start off the game. Now they just kind of need to get rounds on the board in order to not allow Na'Vi to get to double figures. Once again, pretty heavy focus on the over towards the A bomb site from LDLC. More forward positionings this time, though, than what we've seen in the past. Speaking of aggression, Devil's going to get flashed into mid, and he's going to find Simple as well, so one heavy hitter down for Na'Vi. Oh, Na'Vi still looking to commit here, and Edward and Flamey doing a good job finding 2 frags on their own. Flamey, though, still in position on site. Stem the tide here, but map control out the window for LDLC, and still time for Na'Vi to kind of reassess, figure out what they want to do.
Best part is they even have 2 smokes if they want to try and throw him off the scent, but for now it does still look like A is being certainly considered. There are 2 players on the site though. Very hard to dig them out cleanly, but you can see the HP is very, very low. Yeah. Logan's the one who's sitting pretty over by B, but he's yet to get tested. Here come the first smokes. Maybe look up towards pit. Maybe a high flash to follow, and in we go. One on the side. Zeus has definitely seen that, so he knows there's one at back box. He even checks close. Good work from Zeus. Nice play from Na'Vi. Just covering all the bases. No big hurry, but they play it well. And Logan, you can't do anything here. You're not simple.
Not simple. All I could do is find the vlog camera, sit in a corner, and wait it out until the final round of the first half. Right now, we talked about going into this, obviously, I guess the bigger profiles on the side of LDLC, one of them being Alex, and, you know, saw the machine himself touting him as the greatest thing to come out of France.
Look, I'm pretty sure Alex should I say Machine, just kind of likes that name, you know?
There might be a slight hint of bias.
It's a bit of bias there.
Slight hint of bias, but yeah, no, Alex is not having the greatest of games as of right now, struggling to get into the thick of things, only sitting at 4, and you definitely need him to be a bigger part of the game if they want to have a shot at defeating Na'Vi, at least on one map.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I'm still waiting to see Smooya break into like
Big
this sort of big Smoo. The guy is unique in all aspects, but incredibly
also
talented.
in game, exactly.
Yeah, you know, he's one of those players that has brilliance. And his work ethic is phenomenal, so I'd love to see him break into a team like this. Obviously, I think he's with Epsilon still at the moment.
That's
I might be
correct.
wrong, but I think he's still there.
You are correct.
They're doing pretty well for themselves, but you know, the UK actually has a couple of players now. I mean, not a whole team. I wouldn't want us into a whole team, really, but I mean, there's a couple of players.
Do the same approach as Norwegians did. Spread yourself out thin.
Yeah, just
there's not enough for all of us to gather up in one place, right? So just spread yourself out, find a nice team, and work with that. Well, time will tell how that pans out. For now, though, time will tell if Na'Vi can deal with all the nades being sent their way as they move in towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, that's really nice, but the flash is even better. 4 players flash dog. Devil comes piling in, but somehow Na'Vi recover this. Devil and Alex fall. I don't know how Alex actually died in this. Edward leaps up, gets Logan. B is looking like it's theirs, but the bomb. Oh no, boys. It's a bit of a mare. They've had to go and get that again. Edward goes out now. Obviously, LDLC didn't punish. They didn't know this. And look at the last 2 weapons they have up.
Mag 7 retake on B. Not ideal. You're not going to see that in any pro tip videos.
Unless they change our mind now.
Yeah. Navi make quick work of it. The second LDLC tries to get in there. And unfortunate for LDLC, obviously, if they have had the awareness, if the smoke had faded earlier, had any sort of information that the bomb was dropped, then potentially could have done a lot more. But it's going to be 10 rounds on the board for Navi going into that second half. And well, we talked about how felt like 5 rounds in, Simple had 17 frags or something to that effect. Ends the half on 19, which is obviously still very respectable.
It's pretty sick.
It's pretty sick, but kind of slowed down as we chugged along with the half. But then again, that also means that the rest of his teammates kind of got into the thick of things, and we're seeing 4 players in total on the side of Navi into double figures.
It definitely did drop off. At one point, it was up in the 160s, 170s.
Can't even get above 150 ADR.
Kick him.
Why is he even in the team?
Look at that scoreboard, though. It's pretty unreal. 21-6. On the other side, Devil having a good game. He certainly did a lot. Alex, ADR isn't bad.
So somebody's stealing his frags.
Logan, goddamn
just
Logan.
Stealing content.
Just
everywhere.
Scumbag, you know? God.
It's rough out there. It's every man for himself.
The wild, wild west of YouTube.
Yep. LDLC, they do have quite a bit of work ahead of them here. Obviously, a pistol round would go a long way. Again, well, we say this like it's a pretty insurmountable task to make it back from a 10-5 scoreline after the first half, but it is only a pistol round and the first.
Why have they done this? They're like, British caster, put up British player. He's doing the best he can, production. You're putting it simple.
That is kind of, well, he has him beat in the pistol category. Not gonna go, into whether or not that's because LDLC had way more ecos, but
I mean,
we'll just glance past that and say that Alex is, on paper, the better pistol player.
None of us are happy with Brexit, but you don't need to lash out like this. Jesus Christ. God, it's just mean. Oh, right. 5 to 2.5. I feel like I've got something in my eye. It's probably just the tears welling up from production being so mean. Poor old Alex.
Yeah.
But,
do you have a template for complaining about production?
No,
you have one for Chad.
Just Chad.
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe we'll go into that
PUBG
one.
observing, I can complain about that very well. Obviously got that typed up, much easier to relay that information on the form.
I think maybe just find the Chad template, just change his name.
Paste.
Yeah, exactly. Just copy paste, change out everywhere it says Chad for production.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Nice. Okay, no, I can work on that. But this is obviously a 2-game series. There's another map coming up after this one.
It's gonna be Nuke, actually.
Yeah, you know what? Chad or Alex can cast that one if they fancy. Like, I mean, they are more than welcome to hop in on that bad boy.
Speaking of people slamming on things here, I'm not a big fan of people having so much hatred for Nuke. I'll admit that I think it's a bit of a step back with the newer update that we had on the map. Not too big of a fan of that compared to what we had, but I've always been a fan of Nuke. I like that map. It's unique. It's very unique to CS.
It's bad.
It's not a bad map.
It's a bad map.
No, it really isn't.
No, I'm not going to give you any factual evidence, but no, it's a good map because I like it. No,
I mean, it's the unique map design to it. Brings a whole different way of playing.
Yeah, verticality works really well with directional sound. Flamey! Going for a walk down middle, he gets found by Alex, but the plan is kind of noted by this point. They pushed up second mid. They have deals of information. Problem is that Navi now kind of lose track of that. Outside of Edward, actually, he's pushed down all the way through T-Apps, but LDLC very much firmly going towards B, and it's only simple here. I say it's only simple, maybe it's not only simple, it's scary.
Not as simple as it sounds.
Oh, look at you go, the puns are there. Alright, just Harry.
Coming in hot. Oh, jumping, a lot of activity from LDLC. Bomb's gonna go down eventually. Retake can begin, Devil. Not being able to connect with Edward, even though it was a bit of a struggle. Logan, though, is going to do his part, but now it's all down to Toinu, and he's got 3 members of Navi to get through.
I'm not a believer. Proved me wrong. Edward, good play from him coming back in. That first little exchange on Banana was very awkward, but beyond that, very nice. Good to see Edward starting to warm into this one.
Well, as long as you get to the finish line.
I guess.
At that point, it's not about the journey, it's the destination.
It's actually just a destination. Get me there. 11 to 5, Navi put themselves in a good place to, I guess, get a relatively quick game out of this one. At least they put themselves in that position. I mean, the amount of times we'll see these CZs, these rounds specifically doing so well, and then the CT side money just gets completely, trashed. Is more often than not. Simple is complete. Okay, there we go. I was like, he is very. Wow! Did production make these bets up after putting up those stats? No?
Wow. Oh, that's
Guys,
disheartening
man.
to see. I thought the one we saw was Envious and Space Soldiers was...
That was rough, but-
Yeah.
Nope.
No love lost here. All that. So yeah, no, I think that paints the picture rather nicely. It's gonna be tough for LDLC.
I don't think it's wrong. I think it's it's a lot of faith in Na'Vi, and theoretically, obviously, that should be the case. It's 11-5, but these rounds have been close. There's been a lot of competitive elements to both sides in this, so I wouldn't, obviously say those odds are...
Set in stone. It shouldn't
yeah,
be.
exactly.
It's not a,
It's not a gifted one. We've seen Na'Vi lose easier games,
Oh,
in
definitely.
theory, so I mean...
They've lost a big Smoo.
They have lost a big smooth. That is very true. God.
Here we go. LDLC just kind of stuck in banana, not doing a whole lot with it. They still have a ton of utility really to work with here. That might catch Na'Vi off guard. Use some of it to keep the rotated players from Na'Vi actually on the B bomb site. So only 2 players on that A bomb site are playing rather close up to each other. Flamey potentially in a bit of a one and done position here. He's actually gonna go for the wide peak, and that's at the wrong time as well. Electronic has got to come up big here. Finds one. Not going to be able to line the second one onto Logan and Alex. Well, he's got a ZZ in hand. No reason to show any sort of fear. Well, 2v3 and Na'Vi have already given up any sort of hopes of winning this round, and yet again, CZ prevails.
Are they worse than the Tech-9 was?
Yes.
No hesitation. Yes!
Yes. No, it's like CZ is by far, just from a game design point of view, I think the weapon has no place in CS. Automatic pistol. It's... if it was me, if I had 20 seconds with the admin password and the
Yeah,
Valve office,
it'd just be like,
all the files for the ZZ would just be
just gone.
gone. Yeah.
So, just lost somehow.
I would replace them with like ZZ stickers. Like you can have that. You can have that.
So-
That's fine.
I asked Henry this question, but he is biased. But I mean, I'll ask you the same. So let's say the CZ or this other gun are your option. Would you rather see the Source Deagle come back in? Because Henry is adamant that thing was hard to use and not as OP as the CZ.
I would have this Source Deagle any day over the ZZ.
But are you going to deny how OP that gun was?
No. It's a horribly broken weapon. Like, make no mistake. But at least it requires you to do something more than just hold mouse 1 and run.
I don't know. You got to press mouse 1 a couple of times, but you can still have a little wiggle on that. And, yeah.
CZs! Can't do that with a Source Deagle.
I mean, I think people are misremembering the Source Deagle sometimes. That gun was just...
I mean, Henry would know, like, having run into KRL and those guys quite a few times, so...
He's been on the receiving end.
Exactly. If anything, you would imagine that he actually had PTSD.
Like flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. No, it's like, no, not again, not again.
Make it stop!
But yeah, obviously, as you would expect, a flawless round coming out from Na'Vi, as they did have CZs. To be fair, like it's a cool way of playing it from Na'Vi. Like you have to give him credit for that. That could potentially work with a different pistol as well.
Yeah, maybe
because
a
of the bait.
P250 or something along those lines. Yeah.
But I would rather see them do it with a P250.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's getting to the point where it's
getting rather ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think way too many people who are, again, saying that the ZZ is fine is putting too much stock in the fact that, sure, you don't always win a ZZ round, but it's about the economic impact it does to the opponent team. Because it's a $500 investment. You don't necessarily need Kevlar a lot of the time even to do your damage. And at that point, you're basically having a net gain of $4,500, every time you kill a player. And that seems a bit absurd.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah, it is weird. The economy system and the things that made CS
Very unique.
feel like they're being blurred out sometimes. It does feel as though it's like, let's make every weapon viable. No, you don't need to do that.
Oh God, no. The Negev, it's coming.
It's coming. It's on the horizon. We're all waiting for the revolution to begin.
Oof.
MBK, that's why he's kicked anyone against it. He's ready. That is why.
He has been experimenting with a lot of different weapons as of late. The Negev's just going to be next in line.
That's it. It's going to be his gun. I mean, top mid control is in LDLC's hands, and the CZs also are in their hands. So, Maniac going to get this job no matter what. CZ, that's a broken one. He got a broken one.
Yeah, he stopped shooting.
Ah, that's the issue. But Zeus does maintain control of the apartment, but by now you can see the rest of LDLC have players up by CT Archer, putting pressure on, but the quad side completely fails. Zeus and Electronic contain every threat, and they just simply can't get close enough. It's Edward, just to almost close it out. Flamey, in the end, finds Logan.
As Navi stabilize, similar fashion as to what we saw in the first half as well. It was back and forth to start things off, and eventually Navi went on a bit of a run, which kind of solidified their solid first half. And well, for LDLC, they don't really have the benefit of having a cushion going into this, so they need to get right back on it. And they're going to go for an eco now, though. And it's understandable you don't want to necessarily force buy every single round. You do want a chance of getting those AKs in hand. Navi, though, getting very aggressive here. I just want to eco hunt all day.
Like, no CZs aren't up, so things get a lot less scary.
That is very true.
And they get the job done. It's 14 rounds. I think this is kind of what we expected to see. I didn't think we expected Simple's T-side performance. But he's kind of cooled off now. He's doing just fine. He's doing more than enough. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't need to do much more than this, but it's kind of gone the way I expected.
The team aspect, allowing everybody else to have some fun as well.
It's nice. Kind guy.
Exactly. Shows the maturity he's gotten over the years, allowing everybody to be a part of it. Well, that's 2 flawless rounds actually from Navi, so they're gonna have a ton of bucks saved up. So even if LDLC were to actually bring this round back, it's not gonna be like Navi are in a bad spot. But Twinu open things up onto Flamey, but well, the tail end of that wrap is gonna get caught out by Zeus, and well, 2 players still alive for Navi, and Zeus doing an excellent job with the spray. Finds everyone, and now it's only Alex left, and Zeus is gonna follow that up with a 3K, or total of 4 after finding Maniac to start things off. So really well done there by Navi. That could have spiraled out of control. If Maniac makes it into CT spawn, obviously has the opportunity to make LDLC slow things down, wait for the rotation coming in from B. They can wrap around. Tons of opportunities at hand there for the French-Belgian team, but Sue's making sure there's going to be none of that.
Okay, well, 15-6. This game feels like it started off feeling quite close, like we could have had a bit of a matchup, and it's kind of just spiraled away, but it's what it is. We could do the closer. Flamey not landing so perfectly towards that underpass area. And we will be seeing CZ's bit of utility at the rifle in Alex's hands.
It was 6-5 at one point.
Yeah.
That's when we had our hopes up, but Navi decided to let's put a quick end to that.
Yeah, they got bored. They're like, it's too close. All right, I need
stuff
to go
to do
things.
today.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to do my laundry still. I need to do my laundry.
Oh god, that reminds me as well. That's the last thing I want to do when I get home.
It's never fun. You have like 3 travel trips worth just piled up. It's like, you ignore it as long as you can. You're wearing t-shirts from like 10 years ago. Just like, look. Because, you know, the Beastie Boys are very cool nowadays. But Simple doesn't find the shot this time, and Devil does. Okay, suddenly we might have another round on the board here, unless Flamey wants to... He wants to be simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Get it done. Sees the shadow, can't expect the angle. Maniac gets the better of him. It's a 2v2 now. Bomb needs to be planted. Now it goes in. Time ticks favorably towards LDLC, but a quick move from the CTs. Zeus gets the better of Maniac, and now it's down to Devil, and he can't get it done. Electronic is there, and we will be seeing map 1 closed out towards Navi.
Navi, quick and easy, just showcasing that it is a bit of a difference in level, obviously. If you want to go pound for pound or however you want to compare the 2 teams, Navi are supposed to come out ahead in this matchup. But I'm pretty excited looking forward to map 2, because that's obviously not necessarily Navi's home ground, with Nuke being...
Nuke is a fun prospect. I'm not a huge fan of the map, but I think
You love it, Lauren.
These lies you tell. Anyway, fan or not, we'll have the analysis to break this map down, give you some insight going towards Nuke. We'll be back in just a moment.
Incendiary out.